Hello walkers, and welcome back to Livingston, Montana. I haven't filmed here since February, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of a change or a little update on the current conditions here and weather and all that sort of stuff. My name is Henry. I'll be your proxy walker today, your virtual travel guide and your co-explorer across, just to give you a nice little view of the mountains, partially obscured by clouds, of course. It's supposed to start raining here in about half an hour, so we may get a little rained on. Hope you don't mind. Lovely, lovely downtown Livingston here. It is a bit breezy. It is the Sunday before Memorial Day, about 12:30 p.m. It's 54 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it's 12 degrees Celsius. And we're walking. Thank you to our Patreon supporters, and thank you to those that have also been so generous via PayPal and via the tip button that's now available under videos. That's very much appreciated. Wow, the wind just sort of picked up here. I think it's because of this weather coming in. I'm going to give you a look back, which is sort of, it's mainly west. A little northwest. You can see the awesome old Western style buildings here. We are going to walk down by the river. It's going to get windy. I may zip up over the microphone here to try and give you some better audio. And I'll just talk a little bit about Livingston as we go. Many of you have seen Livingston walks before, and some hubbubbery over there. And I'll add a little bit and maybe we'll learn something new. So it is Sunday, as I mentioned. A lot of people are coming out for brunch. I was surprised at how few coffee shops were open today. I think usually there's a couple of them are open, but it is Memorial Day weekend. What else am I going to say? Let me get there we go. This is Lewis. That's one way, and that's the other way. You can see the rain clouds rolling in here. It's getting dark. Storm clouds are rising. We are walking down Main Street here, but I was talking about coffee shops, there are several restaurants open for brunch. People are congregating. We're seeing a lot of visitors. The tap for tourism has turned on. All of a sudden, and lots of folks wandering around, exploring our wonderful little town. So welcome to them. Welcome to you guys. We got some work going on over here. Oh, they've actually blocked up a bunch of windows. Maybe that was existing, but this used to be an office building. Had some tax preparers in there. I'm not sure what's going in here. Anyway, here's that wind. They're also redoing this, and I believe this used to be a junk shop. Yeah, Junkies Treasures or something like that. And I'm not sure what's going to be this time. Coming up on Neptune's Tap House and Eatery. Great place to get sushi here, which hi there. All right. My son, who is 15, just got a job at Neptune's in the kitchen, his first job. Just want to point you down here. Leafy. In fact, let's go that way. This is Clark. And, here's one of the few EV charging stations in town, if you need one. It's impressive to me. I know not everybody's into the electric vehicle. Well, it's kind of a revolution, but none of the manufacturers who are bringing out electric vehicles can keep up with them. I think that is a good pointer to demand. And I think a lot of people say, oh, well, there's no charging network out there, and you got to travel to charge. It's the same amount of time or same amount of expense as a gas vehicle. And that may be true for now, but the charging network is just expanding at fever pace, and lots of people, lots of companies are committing to expanding that network. And also, you know, most people will end up charging at home. And finally, you know what? It may not be a perfect solution to everybody, and that's fine. That's why we have a free market. Anyway, that's going to be my perambulation pontification for the day. Look at those clouds. Maybe. I know I rub people the wrong way sometimes with those things, but most of you guys are nice and you'll forgive me. Look at this. Lovely, lovely neighborhood. You can see these trees, some of these trees still haven't leafed out, and we're a hop, skip, and a jump away from June. I'm going to show you the river too. It's way up, not way up, but up higher than it's been. We measure those things with CFS, and each river has its own profile of cubic feet per second. That's what CFS stands for. And so, you know, in and of itself, it doesn't really mean anything until you have seen it at various stages. But it can get up to 20,000 plus. I think it's at 14.5 today. It's been cool the last day or two. We got a bunch of rain yesterday too, though, so that pumped it up. Before that, we had 80-degree weather. So the weather has been, and to be fair, almost always does hop around a lot this time of year. I didn't tell you what street we're on. We are on 2nd, coming up on Geyser. If you have any questions or comments, friendly comments, please put them in the comments section below. I do read all the comments, respond to all the comments at least once. Sometimes the replies, this is Geyser here. I don't always continue the conversation, but I do appreciate the interaction with you guys. It's one of my favorite aspects of this walk. I've been doing some nature walks and not talking as much. And I sense that maybe I'm excited to be able to talk again. I used to be fairly shy, and this gives me an outlet to jibber jabber. Love these old buildings here. I love hearing the birds. I don't know if you guys can hear them as well. Also, these lilacs are starting to bloom. Love the smell of lilacs. These aren't really pungent yet. We've got some in our yard. Absolutely lovely. Saw my first western tanager, I think it is, yesterday. It's a black and yellow and red bird, and it is gorgeous. I'm also going to show you guys for Memorial Day and Veterans Day, I think for Veterans Day, but definitely for Memorial Day. Ooh, an e-bike. The city puts up, and the VFW, I think it's the VFW, puts up these flags, which is super cool. Nice, I love it. E-bike with the trailer. A couple of e-bikes. And as a memorial, here in the States, Memorial Day. It's a day of remembrance for the men and women who have died in service of their country, primarily the military. This body of water up here is referred to as the Lagoon, and it's a kind of just stores the water coming out of Fleshman Creek, and eventually it flows into the river. It's very pretty though. I haven't walked down here while the skate park, which is off here off to the left, has been in use in a while. It's been a year or so. You can see the mountains. Got a cranky duck over here. If you are watching and served in the military, thank you. I know that's more of a Veterans Day type thing to say, but certainly the men and women in our armed forces are worthy of thanks, and I do appreciate the sacrifices you guys make. It's not always life and limb, but it certainly is a choice that a lot of us don't make. So thank you. It looks like they've got something else going on up here too. We'll go check it out. This is also the area of the park where they have the farmers market on Wednesday afternoons. I believe that starts this week. These are crosses. And various names and people and where they served. We've got Mexican War, Spanish-American War, Civil War, GAR, I'm not sure what that is. So interesting. I assume these folks are local. It's pretty interesting. This is the first time I've seen these. There. We'll circle back here and not here, but we'll see the river in a little bit just to let you know. See some tennis courts, some saucy ducks down here. Off to the left here in the playground, and then this is Sacagawea Park. I know there's an official way to pronounce that name. That's just what they call this park. That's how they pronounce it here. Whoa. Makes you think, really. Hopefully. It should make you think. Sorry about that. Hi there. We'll just walk around the edge of this park here. You can see the Lagoon stretches here. This is kind of where Fleshman Creek flows in. We used to come down here and feed the ducks and geese a lot when the kids were little. You can hear some kids playing over on the playground. You can also see a ton of dandelions. Oh, here's some goslings. We'll talk about that in a second. But and they do this thing called no mow May here to help the bees. I did mow just a little bit May. My yard was getting a little crazy. But yeah, and you start to see these trees flowering and the bees will be doing just fine. Thanks. Look at these cute little guys. Can you hear them whistling? Yeah. Tell you what you don't want to do is mess with one of those geese. They can be fierce. You can see the yellow and white. The white's the seed heads out on that field, maybe. You can see it. Then you've got these wonderful, I don't know if they're apple or cherry trees, but they get all flowery and absolutely beautiful here all along this park. Somewhere down here, they used to have a beaver. They've also, this year, I've seen a mama moose, which is not unusual. They come down in here and browse. Oh, it smells so delicious. The wet willows. This has this really sweet smell that I just love. Of course, you've got the birds singing as well to add to it. Just a great, quiet afternoon. Let's see the flowers here. It's also not unusual to, not unheard of, it is unusual, but unheard of to see a black bear in town. I feel like that's more in the fall. They come down looking for fruit and other food as they load up on calories for the winter. And they've actually also seen mountain lions in town. I've never actually seen a mountain lion outside of a zoo or facility. And I'm not sure I'd want to see one in town, but they make their way down here. And certainly deer. We see those all the time. Too many of them in our yards. Got some more geese with the passel of goslings up here. I won't bother them, or I'll try not to. Over by that bench. Oh, there's 20 of them. Look at that. It's interesting to see. There's two little groups. There's a group of 5 older ones, and they hatch at different times and grow at different times, different speeds. You can also see hear the highway, which I see a goldfinch in there, warbler, something. And it's just sort of the nature of the landscape here that doesn't have a lot of trees outside of town. So the sound carries a long way, and you hear the big diesel trucks that keep our society working. Shifting into lower gears, you hear people hitting the rumble strips. So, not as idyllic as we'd like, but not really avoidable. It'll be interesting to see what happens to the soundscape, to me, when eventually vehicles convert to electric, and then also if they go hydrogen, which is another technology that I've heard a lot about, if that sounds differently, the combustion of it. It's probably pretty similar, I would guess, but you never know. I don't know. Oh, look at there, there's a little warbler. We'll get up here on this levee, which is meant to help mitigate flooding, and we'll get a chance to see the river eventually. Oh, love these little yellow birds. Love these old cottonwoods too. They've evolved to break a lot. I think that's how they disperse along the river, but so they're not great for in terms of maintenance and safety necessarily, but they are pretty cool. And they have nice shade. We're gonna head left here. Here's the river. You can see it's up high. Oh, you can see some beavers have been in action too. Look at that. Little bluebird as well. You can see the gnawing that they've done. Oh, they've really done a number on this bank here. It's a beaver's got to eat, but these trees help retain the levee, is my understanding. Wow, bunch of trees. And so this is kind of a backwater. You can see across, there's a current over there. That's usually really low, barely flowing during the summer. And then across from that is 9th Street Island. I think it has another name on the map, but people just call it 9th Street Island. And then beyond that is the main channel, which we will see down here. It's interesting to see the beavers have been so busy. There's no way they'll be able to dam this river up. It's just too powerful in the spring. But I don't think that's going to stop them. This one looks like it just fell. Rotted out and they had to take it down. Tree, I mean. But you can see this little whole road here is completely shaded in the summer. It's lovely. You can see the river is, I think I said, about 14,000 CFS currently. And it can certainly get higher. Oh, looks like somebody's trying to protect that tree from beavers. A couple of these trees have been fenced off in an effort to protect them. So you see this big tree trunk out here. If the water comes up again even higher, which it could do, if we get a warm weather and some rain, let's see, can you see it? Not really. It could get swept further down, no problem. Or alternatively, it could be, if the water doesn't come up, it'll just stay there for the season until next year. There you go. It's having been here now lived here for pretty much, 2006 is when I moved here. It's interesting to see how much these channels have changed and evolved over time. This levee is rip-rapped, meaning the rocks have been put down to prevent erosion, hopefully. At the very least, slow it down. But the island itself and this bit down here has really filled in. The 9th Street Bridge that goes out to the island got washed away 10 or 12 years ago. And they've replaced it, and since then the channel, and this isn't because of the bridge, but for reasons that are upstream, the channel has just has started to dry up. It's just not getting the same amount of flows as it used to. You can see the main drag out there. Oh, somebody's got a teepee up on the bench, that white thing up there. This other side of the highway, I guess. That's some BLM land, I think, or city land. You can see. Maybe we won't get rained on. So it's fun to come down here in the summer a little bit further. This will be almost all cobble. I don't know what that was. And then a little bit of a trickle of a flow, and it'll pool up further up there, and little kids can swim. And then down here further, it will where this water comes in from the right here, the current picks up, and that little island out there with some willows is totally exposed. And there's some quick current that you can jump across or swim across and get to the island really easily, and then you can hop in the current and float down, get out, hop in the current, float down, etc. Right. Here's the flags again, and we're going to walk down this levee. Getting that smell of the river, that cottonwood smell, the willow smell. On the far side, that channel, the main stem there, which is interesting because it looks like almost this near side is getting a little bit more water, but maybe not. The way the water carves things out is, it's dependent on a million little factors. Maybe one of these trees is angled just enough to carve out a little extra one year, and it just builds up, and all of a sudden you've got a completely different flow. Over to our left is the band shell. It's where they play music during the farmers market. You can see a chunk of tree going down there. I love seeing the clouds covering up those mountains. Beautiful. And all this green. Oh, the grass loves it. And everybody's always saying we need the moisture, but one of the things I heard was that if you get a lot of moisture early in the spring and then the tap shuts off, meaning the rain stop, everything dries out, you've got all this grass and shrubs and that sort of thing that is dried out and now is just fuel for fires, and it can lead to a really severe fire situation, which, as everybody knows, is becoming worse and worse and worse the last couple decades at least. Got some baseball fields here. Looking back, there's the Civic Center. Ooh, it looks like rain. Maybe we will get rained on. I've been lucky so far. So this pole over here, the sticks on top, is an osprey nest. It's just a nest, but traditionally ospreys will nest in there. I can see one's head barely visible up there. And then they'll have their little baby ospreys, and you can come down and use binoculars to watch them. They're actually pretty close. I would say it's, 60 yards away from me right now. The camera lens makes it look further away. There's a tree that's been wedged in that that other tree, a trunk. There's that piece of bark. Clunk. Not a good day for swimming, that's for sure. So this levee is one of the places you can take your dog off your leash, I believe. But you do have to clean up after them, obviously. Hey there. How y'all doing? I will try to remember to do another walk in, say, July or August, late July maybe. That's probably a good time. And we'll take a look at this river and we can do a little comparison from what it looks like today. The water should be way lower, way clearer. And you'll see a lot more of the physical features of the river corridor. A lot leafier, hopefully not smokier. Oh, I'm going to turn you over here to the left too. You can see in the far hillside, we've done walks up there, but there's a big white letter P and then a big white fish. That's sort of the P is for Park County. That's kind of a thing they do out here out west. And then the fish, I don't know the origins of the fish, but it's one of the little special things we have here in Livingston. So you're going to hear a lot more white water up here. There's some rock features down here that are little slanted fins of rock that stick up, and when the water is lower, it rushes around them and creates some little rapids and stuff. And when the water is much lower, you can kind of walk out there on these little things, and you see them. See, sort of. We'll go down here and get a better view. So this up here, you can see these orange fence posts. This is private land, privately owned land, and they, for a lot of reasons, don't want people walking over there, which I can understand, for sure. A lot of issues that can arise in that. Look at these rapids. Look how powerful that water is. But back to the land issue, it sure would be nice if at some point either the city could purchase or make some agreement to allow public access to a little bit of this to walk all the way down to Mayor's Landing. I think it would be a huge benefit to the community. Now that said, I respect private property rights and all that stuff, so I don't think they should be forced to do that. But I think at some point the city and or county and or state could come up with enough money when the opportunity arises to create that, either an easement or to buy it outright, create a park, whatever. I think that would be really nice. Nice feature for the community. One of the things they're thinking about, or I've heard mentioned, I don't know if anybody's actually where they are in the process or if it will ever happen, but building a footbridge across the river down at Mayor's Landing at the end of the Myers River View Trail, which we've walked both of those places before. Nice little robin on a fence. And I think that would be awesome too. They do have a bike path along the main drag, 89, to get across the river, which is nice, but it sure would be nice to have a footpath, bike path only bridge across there. And it would cut off, I don't know, maybe a mile of distance to get over across the river. I think it would improve a lot of access over there. There's that dirt road. I've walked there a couple years ago. I might walk there again in June when it's greened up even more. But it's pretty flat and open, so there's not a whole lot of exciting things going on. Somebody in their truck having fun going through puddles. This is the track and field area for the Park County High School. It's a pretty nice facility. They've got hurdles, they've got high jumps, they've got lanes, they've got stands, football goals, and they can put up soccer goals as well. And then beyond that is the private land, and then you get into the county fairgrounds. And then the golf course, and then Mayor's Landing. Love getting these, the views of these mountains. I know I'm talking a lot today, sorry. I did a bike ride, a little group bike ride somebody set up. We went up Fleshman Creek Road, which is on the other side of the railroad tracks, up towards the hills in that direction. And it was surprising to see, just going up a couple miles up this dirt road, how the perspective changes on these mountains and this canyon down here. It really does create a different look, and it is beautiful, of course. I believe these bushes are forsythia, but I'm not entirely sure. Sparrows getting feisty over there. In September, we have tickets to Italy, and who knows what will happen between now and then, but we're gonna go to the Dolomites, and I am excited to go up there. I've been wanting to go there for years. Just the photos from there are just absolutely stunning, and I hope to do a whole bunch of walks up there and all around Italy, actually. So if you have any recommendations, please, or tips, please put them in the comment section. Love getting that personal information. Look at this. This fence got taken out by one of these cottonwood trees. They do fall over. One of the local nonprofits has created a fund to replace a lot of these trees because the city has had to take down cottonwoods, but also a lot of ash trees because of the ash borer beetle that is an invasive species that's arrived here. And it's nice to see those, new trees being planted because it's not always affordable or something that somebody can do for their home. Some of these folks, like we know several people that are disabled veterans and older and on fixed incomes, and so the group is becoming part of the solution rather than just saying somebody ought to do something. I like it when that happens. Let's go take a look at this skate park here. They put this in, 5 years ago? I don't know. But I think it was, I think the city allowed them the land, but I believe the funds and that sort of thing were all raised privately, and it gets a lot of use. Another one of those features that makes a community so nice. People coming together to make that happen. Love it. I don't even know what the name of the street is, honestly, with the flags. Never bothered to look. River Drive, that makes sense. All right, guys, thank you for joining us today. Looking at the swallows sucking up mosquitoes along the water here. Come back soon. We will be back at least next week. I'm not sure where we will be walking yet, but hopefully it'll be someplace nice, someplace interesting. Give us your comments, your subscriptions, your likes, all that fun stuff. But mainly, come back and see us again. Tell your friends too if you think they might like it. And what else? Oh yeah, keep on stepping.